this kind of comes out of what I do, but I do
Mhm.
it because I think it's that important. And I think the first thing they really need to do is stop and consider self-empathy. Because
Mm.
empathy is one of those things that we're really quick to give other people, but we don't always give to ourselves. But judgment and empathy cannot exist in the same space.
She's the leadership disruptor, proving that empathy isn't soft, it's the strategy that changes everything. Hey there, Dr. Melissa Robinson-Winemiller. I'm putting some respect on your name. Welcome to Shine AF.
Hey, Nicole, I'm so excited to be here and just thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here with you today.
Oh, well, I am honored because between your work, wisdom, and presence, I mean, you are a powerful woman, and I can't wait to dive in how you are shining in this season. But before we get to that, I want to talk about your book, The Empathic Leader. First, on LinkedIn, you ask, what do empathy and a treadmill have in common? Which I think is like the best line ever on LinkedIn. So before you dive into your book, tell us, what do empathy and a treadmill have in common?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's like one of my big things, because
Yeah.
like with empathy, we have this idea that it's okay to have it. I have empathy. Well, that's
Mhm.
great. But what do you do with it? How do you use it?
Mhm.
Where is it showing up? How are you using it with other people? So it's just like having a treadmill, really, in that
Yeah.
you can have a treadmill and you can throw your clothes on it and the cat can sleep on it and you can leave it and dust it once a month. But if you don't use that treadmill actively, you're not going to
Right.
get any results at all. And empathy is
Right.
exactly the same.
You know what? I love that because I do the same thing equating as far as confidence, as far as like a workout. You can have all the confidence in the world, but if you don't use it, it's just kind of like, I want to lose 10 pounds, but if you're just sitting around the house and not doing anything, you're not gonna lose 10 pounds. So I feel the same with
Nope.
confidence. You got to use it. You know what I mean? It's a muscle, very similar to like you're saying with empathy.
Yeah.
So
It's a skill. It's not a
yeah.
trait. It's a skill.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. All right, so let's dive into your book because, like the cover of your book, you all please look for her book. Like how she is very colorful and beautiful, so is her book. So let's talk about how do we get to the empathic leader?
So I was in a very toxic workplace and it
Mm,
was it was just an ugly scene. But all the way through, I was watching the leadership and watching what was happening. I was a musician. I was a performing musician. I
hmm.
played French horn. I got to tour Europe as a soloist. And by the time I got out of this workplace, which, I was a professor of music, so
Yeah.
that's what I was doing. Everything was so destroyed that I actually had to leave music altogether. And it left me asking,
Mhm.
number one, what happened? And number two, why is it okay for us to treat each other like this? So I spun out for a while, 5, 6 years,
Mhm.
because, that's what happened. But
Right.
then I was like, okay, so what can I do so that no one else ever has to feel the way that I feel right, at that moment?
Hmm.
And I was like, I can talk about it. I can be vocal. I can be visible. And I can talk for the people who aren't talking because they're in jobs that they can't leave because their
Right.
leadership is horrible. And the only people who don't seem to notice it are the leadership. So I started digging in because I didn't just want to be, spouting. I wanted to be the expert in the area. So I
Hmm.
got my MBA. I went and I'm working now on my dissertation for a doctorate in interdisciplinary leadership. And that
Nice.
dissertation is on empathy and leadership so that, I'm the one that knows about this. And that isn't to say that other people don't, but I knew that this was a way that I could do it, that I could do it in a way that was authentically
Yeah.
me and stack it on top of the experience. And I mean, because I've been doing consulting and doing stuff out in the field now I've been in leadership positions for about 30 years, and then specifically with the consulting for about another 10. So, it's like I can bring experience, education, and expertise. And that's my goal. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, that's why I tell everybody to put some respect in your name, Dr. Melissa Robinson-Winemiller, because it's one thing to come on here and say, hey, I want to talk about this. You're like, no, 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 I am an expert. And what I'm saying, I need you all to listen. Let's talk about as far as the toxic workplace, because like one thing, unfortunately, a lot of us have in common, we've been in those toxic workplace. I feel like majority of my career was toxic, not only just as being a woman, but also a
Yep.
Black woman and had to deal with some really heavy stuff. And people a lot of times, will say, oh, it couldn't have been that bad, or, just leave. Like it's so easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like sometimes you're in a position where you can't just leave. And then sometimes it's so bad where you just truly feel like you are stuck in some mud and you're just trying to figure out how do I get out of it. If somebody right now is watching this, or like she just described me, what would be like the first thing you'd say as far as, okay, I know you're in this, but this too shall pass.
Yeah. Don't lose track of yourself.
Mm,
One of the things that happened with me is they beat on me so hard and so constant. I was assaulted. I was assaulted by one of my colleagues after I
mm,
had moved to the other side of the country and I had been there like months. So I had no
mhm,
support. I had no friends. I had no family. And then the institution wanted to cover it up. And,
mm,
obviously I'm just some upstart. The
mhm,
problem is they beat on me so constantly that by the time I left, I had lost myself completely
mhm,
and had started to believe some of what they had to say.
mhm.
So, first and foremost, do not lose yourself. You know who you are. It doesn't matter. You're going to be hearing whatever it is a lot. You're going to be hearing it all the time, but you know who you are authentically. You're a plant that's been planted in
Mm,
dry, sandy, rocky soil. You can't thrive in that situation. And you may be stuck there for a while. I was stuck in mine for 7 years,
yeah.
but eventually you will get out. And when
Mhm.
you do, have your plans in place and know exactly who you are because you're worth so much more than these people want you to believe you are.
Amen to that. Amen to that. See, this is why I love you so much, Melissa. Thank you so much for that. I mean, I wish you would have been around when I was like that, because like you, it felt like, I mean, it took a toll. I mean, just physically, mentally, it's a lot. And I take, I feel some kind of when people are kind of like, dismiss it as far as like, it's just a job or this, that, and the other. But people don't understand the toll that it takes, especially when you're young going in
Yeah.
and you have these high expectations. You think, you have this like respect for leadership and you think they're going to treat you a certain way, and then they come at you and you're kind of like, whoa, whoa, yo, you're kind of blindsided, like, what just happened, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And it must have been you, right? It must be me. It can't be them. I mean, that was what
Right.
I always did. I
Yeah.
have to be doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? And
Mm-hmm.
I was taking responsibility for other people's bad behavior. But at the
Mm-hmm.
time, well, they're in charge. They've been in charge for a long time. These are,
Yeah.
older people that have been involved in this for decades. It's got to be them. It can't, I mean, or it's got to be me. It has to be
Yeah.
something I'm doing. And I think
Yeah.
women do that especially.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think, now I appreciate that, like, let's say the generations behind us have a word, gaslighting. We didn't have that word.
Yes.
We didn't know what that
Yes.
was. We were just kind of like, okay, I'll just deal with it. And now right off the bat, I'm like, oh no, what you're not going to do is gaslight me,
Right.
But before that, we didn't have that word. We didn't even know what that meant.
Right. And I
Yeah.
think we have to be clear with that word because it means more than lying. It's not just lying.
Mm-hmm.
Gaslighting is when you lie to someone and alter their reality until they don't know what's real. It comes from
Wow.
a movie from like the 1930s, and the
Yeah.
husband was constantly playing with the gas lights. He was turning them up and turning them down, and so it was brighter, and then telling the wife, "Oh no, you're crazy. Everything is fine," until she
Mm-hmm.
started to doubt her own sanity. So when you're gaslighted, it goes way beyond just being lied to, and it's extremely destructive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for, just not only putting it in words, but like doing the work and being a champion for all these people out here. So we need more Melissas in this world. So thank you for bringing the light, because that's something I'm passionate on, as far as making sure that not only women shine, just people shine, period. Because
Yes.
life is hard. And sometimes you're trying to figure out, am I the only one? And I'm so glad that you're out there to remind people you're not the only one. I've been there, done that. And, it will pass. You'll be in a better place soon.
Yes. Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate it because I figure if I can touch just one life, then it's all worth
Hmm.
it.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So with that, let's talk about how you shine, because you shine bright, my friend, like a diamond. So when you hear the phrase shine AF, what does that mean to you personally?
That's when you really allow your authenticity to come through and
Mhm.
you're not hampered by the stuff that goes on around you and you're not allowing life to hold you down, but you're just absolutely centered in who and what you are,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the best possible light.
I love it. What's one moment in your life or career where you had to remind yourself to shine even when everything felt messy?
During that time. I
Yeah.
mean, because I was really struggling at that point to try and figure out who I was anyway. Just before I went
Mhm.
out, my mom had passed,
Mm,
and there was a horrible breakup that happened at the time, and there was just all these different things that were happening while this other stuff was happening, which is why I'm saying don't lose track of yourself, because I really did lose track of who I was. But the good news is it forced me to stop and think about it. Well, who am I and who do I want to be?
mhm.
And I could actually start to craft who I wanted to be instead of just allowing it to happen.
Nice, nice. So, as we know, confidence isn't always loud, but what does it look like for you when it's quiet?
It's a very centered feeling. It
Mhm.
feels balanced, it feels centered, and it feels solid. It's just an inner knowing of I got this,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
When do you feel like that turned on for you, where you kind of had this moment like, I'm a badass. I got this.
Honestly, when I did my TEDx this year, and I was like, yeah,
Yes.
hello, yes, I deserve to be here. I worked for it. I put this together. I worked really hard for it.
Yeah.
And I deserve to be on the stage as much as other people.
Nice, nice. Did you walk off and it was kind of like, please stop standing and hold the applause. I don't need that third ovation. Stop, stop.
No, when I walked off, it was like, oh my God, what did I just do? Oh my goodness. Well, I guess it's done now.
Right, right, right. So, who or what helps you to get your shine back when life tries to dim it?
I am a big believer in working the body and working the mind.
Mhm.
So exercise is first thing right out of the gate. And I used to be a personal trainer and a fitness instructor because as a
Okay.
musician,
Yeah.
you always have a byline,
Hmm.
always, and I used to teach specifically weightlifting and mixed martial arts, body combat kind of classes. And to
Nice.
do that kind of high impact, high energy stuff just helps me kind of refocus and remember who I am and be okay with that. I am intense. I am kind of right out there. And
Yeah.
and it's funny because in one way, doctorate, kind of a filbert, quiet, academic, whatever. But there's this
Right.
other part of me that's just like, wow. And I get to remember that. Because
Yeah.
then the other side of that is, with the brain and centering and meditation and, really taking time to think through whatever it is, whether it's,
Right.
my own authenticity or how I'm applying it in the world or how I'm showing up or not just allowing life to happen, but actively crafting life.
I love it. I love it. So she can lecture you, ladies and gentlemen, and kill you at the same time. Please know
Sometimes they're the same thing.
that.
So my students used to say, they're just like, oh my God, she's doing it again. Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna make you that t-shirt just so you can warn folks.
I would do it.
So if someone watching this is struggling to believe in their own light, what would you tell them right now?
So this kind of comes out of what I do, but I do
Mhm.
it because I think it's that important. And I think the first thing they really need to do is stop and consider self empathy. Because
Mm,
empathy is one of those things that we're really quick to give other people, but we don't always give to ourselves. And
mhm,
what happens is judgment gets in the way, self judgment. But judgment and empathy cannot exist in the same space ever, whether it's judgment for yourself or judgment for someone else. So you need to take a step back, let that judgment go as much as you can. And there's ways to do that and actually give yourself that empathy. Yeah, maybe I didn't do as great with whatever it was, but I did the best I could. And this is how it turned out. And I'm all right with that. Or, maybe I'm not the person I want to be yet, but I'm
mhm.
growing and I'm getting better. Or maybe I did backslide and, maybe I'm not doing the things that I feel I want to do, but I am a human being and I'm doing the best I can with the tools I have available at the time. So starting with that self empathy piece is huge.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that because what the one thing I've had to learn over these last few years is I can talk to, my friends and family a certain way, but then I would talk to me and I'd be very harsh. I'd be a
Yes.
critic and it's always, oh, why'd you do this? And, call myself names. And I'm like, and I had to come to a point where I'm like, but you can give all that to family and friends, but you can't give a little bit to yourself. And I know it's hard to do, but once you do it and it clicks, you're like, oh yeah, I've been really mean to myself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. That self-judgment is the key. If you can catch
Hmm.
yourself, then you can start to turn it around because it's a
Yeah.
habit. We talk to ourselves that way because it's a habit.
Right.
So you can't break a habit, you have to replace it, which
Hmm.
means doing it the way you want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, musician here. If your confidence had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Wow, that's a good one. And whatever I say, I'll come up with six other things as soon as we're done. Um,
Right.
it would probably be Eye of the Tiger, just
Ooh,
because
okay.
it's a favorite.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I mean, the song itself, when you listen to the lyrics, it's about someone who isn't in the fight yet. It's someone who's
Yep.
going to the fight,
Yeah.
rising up out of the heat, took my
Yeah.
time, took my chances.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh
I
yeah. I
think
can
if I
see
had to,
Rocky now. Just
that's
doing
right.
it, because
That's right. It's all in the
yeah.
head,
Yeah.
all in
Yeah.
the head.
Oh, that's a good one. I love that. Now I'm gonna have that song in my head for the rest of
Right?
the
Me too.
day. All right, Dr. Melissa, who would play you in the movie version of your life?
Oh, Juliette Moore.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like her.
She
I
has
like,
so much breadth in her acting. She's
yeah,
really
yeah,
amazing.
her range. Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be good. That'd be good. All right, so what's one trend or moment right now that makes you either roll your eyes or shout yes?
The one that makes me roll my eyes is the whole AI thing because
Yeah.
it's an incredibly, incredibly powerful tool,
Yeah,
but it's a tool and we're treating it like it's a person and it's not,
right. Yeah,
you know. That one
yeah.
just makes me nuts.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because depending on what age group you're in, older people think it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's like it's not the Terminator,
Yeah.
and then younger people, they pretty much named that bot or whatever, and they're talking to it because they have like character AI and all this. And it's like you said, it is a tool. It's like anything else. Or society is just kind of like warming up to it, like we have to be friends with it. It's like, no, again, it's a tool that I use.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm not friends with my hammer. I'm not going to be friends with AI. It's a tool.
Yeah, me and my fork are not like this. Okay.
Yes, we are not besties. It's not me and my fork. We're going to the zoo today. It's not happening. I talk to my fork about all my mental health issues, the stuff that's happening. And it's like,
Yeah, yeah,
no, it's a tool.
yeah.
The scary thing is that, it makes people believe that it has empathy. People
Yes.
buy into some of this. And I think the thing that's scary about that is what does that say about the rest of humanity that we feel we can get more empathy out of this machine than we can other people?
I'm so glad okay, so I'm so glad you brought that up. So let me ask you, what do you think about those people who use AI for therapy?
Well, first of all, there's all sorts of articles about how it's just not made for that.
Okay,
And it's not going to give you the best information. It's
right.
not actually working with you one on one. It's a large learning model. It's just scraping the web and coming up
Hmm.
with answers, and that may or may not have anything to do with you at all. But the other
Right.
thing is that it's built, and they're starting to work some of this out, but it's actually built to draw you in and keep things going with the algorithm so that you come back and come back and come back. So it's
Hmm.
kind of sycophantic in what it will say. And it's actually luring some of these, especially younger people into
Yeah.
suicide and self harm. And there's studies that show if you're even kind of on the edge of psychosis, it will keep spinning it until you do end up there. So it's actually
Okay.
really dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really scary, especially when it comes to the kids, really.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Coffee, cocktails, or mocktails? What's your go-to that fuels you?
Oh, old fashioned, just old
Okay.
fashioned with makers and a Luxardo cherry.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Okay. All right. Finish this sentence. Right now, I'm shining AF because,
Because I'm coming off a year of a whole bunch of wins that if you had asked me
Mhm.
10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed was possible.
Yeah. Yeah. That is awesome. Nothing like hearing a whole bunch of wins.
Yeah.
All right. So, one more question that we're going to use at the end. It's my reflective question that I have every guest answer. What's the lesson your life keeps teaching you that you want others to hear?
that you're never done, that you
Mm,
always have another chance, that you can always go back and do it again. And there's no such thing as mistakes. They're learning opportunities. Now, whether you choose to learn from them or not is up to you,
mm.
but you're not going to mess things up. Don't be afraid. Just go for it, because the worst that'll happen is you're exactly where you're at now.
I love it. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I just adore you, appreciate you, and I just love the work that you're doing.
Thank you. Well, it's been such an honor to be here with you, and a lot of fun besides. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So thank you.
Thank you. That was Dr. Melissa Robinson-Winemiller, leadership disruptor, the empathic powerhouse, and the judgment-free listener, reminding us all that ShineAF starts with leading from the heart. Don't forget, subscribe, stay connected, and I'll see you at thenicolegray.com.